O sige, start na.
po.
O, start na, sige. Okay.
Good morning, classmates. Good morning, sir. Today we're gonna discuss about machine guarding and safety. First, what is machine guarding? Machine guarding is a safety feature on or around manufacturing or other engineering equipment consisting of a shield or device covering a hazardous area of a machine to prevent contact with the body parts or to control hazard like chips or spark from exiting from the machine. The purpose of machine guarding is to protect the machine operator and other employer in work area from hazard created during the machine's normal operation. This would include hazard of concern such as ingoing nip points, rotating parts, reciprocating, transversing, or and flying chips and sparks. Masyano po, sir. Sir, nagpapaliwanag pa lang. Hindi pa, sir. Sige, sir. Sige, sir. General safety. According to Environmental Health and Safety, University of California, General Safety staff developed the campus machine guarding safety program to manage the safe selection, procurement, use of, and safe work practices, inspection, and records keeping for all machine guarding equipments and devices. So, this machine guarding safety program applies to any department on campus, at field station, or at least property where any type of activity could be result in injuries from machine operation. The campus machine guarding safety written program outline roles and responsibility for user of machinery, as well as those EH&S general safety staff in managing this program, and owner department that purchase, maintain, or manage an inventory of shop, scientific maintenance, or repair machinery. Machinery can be dangerous. Much of a danger on most machines occur at the point of operation, where the work is performed and where the machine cuts, shear, punches, shapes, sand, bend, or drills. Injury or even death. Safeguarding is a primary way to control hazards associated with regulation and standard. Second, ito po yung mga warning sign. Having an understanding of how a machine works and how the guard can protect you will result in reduced risk or injury. Ito po yung mga prevention to how maiwasan yung mga hazards sa work area within machine. First, prevent contact. Machine guards must provide a physical barrier that prevents the operator from having any part of his or her body in danger zone during machine operating cycle. As the second is be secure in a place or otherwise be tampered proof. Machine guard must be secure and strong so that workers are not able to bypass, remove, or tampered with them. They must be attached to the machine where possible. If guard cannot be physically attached to the machine, it must be attached somewhere else. Tapos yung program po ng yung program ng machine safeguarding, yung applicability and scope. The program applies to any person using or overseeing the use of machine which are owned or operated under the control, including yung mga staff, faculties, student employees. Hindi sir, madami po kasi nasa 44 slide po pag parang dadaanan na namin, masyado marami po, haba yung report. Opo. Oo, mahaba sir, kaya 40, ito nga sir, 44 slides na ito eh. Sir, meron kaming document form na ipapano. Sanda lang namin sa EC. Aba. Doon yung napagawa natin yung citation. Tapos, having an understanding on how machine works and how the guards can protect you will result in a reduced risk of injury. Pero ito po yung sa mga prevention pa rin. Create no new hazard. A safeguard defeats its own purpose if created a hazard on its own, such as a shear point, jagged edge, or unfinished surface which can cause laceration. The edge of a guard, for instance, should be rolled or bolted in such way that They eliminated sharp edge. Machine guards should not obstruct the operator's view. Second, allow for lubrication with the guard still in place. If possible, one should be able to lubricate the machine without removing safeguards, locating oil reservoir outside the guards with the line leading to the lubrication point. Will reduce the need of operator or maintenance worker to enter a hazardous area. Third, not interfere with the machine operation. Any safeguard which impeds a worker from performing the job quickly and comfortably might soon be overridden or disregarded. Proper safeguarding can actually enhance efficiency since it can relieve the worker's apprehension about injury. So ito na po yung types of hazard. Yung first is hazard motion, including rotation machine parts, reci- re- reciprocating motion, sliding parts up or down motion, and transverse motion. Yung example po ng hazard motion is, wait lang po, rotating motion. Even smooth and slowly rotating shaft can grip clothing. Through mere skin, contact can force an arm or hand into dangerous position. Collars, couplings, cams, clutches, flywheel shaft ends, spindles, horizontal or vertical shaftings. And for example of common rotational mechanism which may be hazardous. This is added danger when bolts and links, abbreviation, and protecting keys or set of screws are exposed on rotating parts of machinery. Second example is in running nip point. This is there is hazardous place on machine where parts are moving toward each other or when one apart moves past stationary object. Loose clothing or body parts may become caught between drawn into nip point. Tapos yung third motion is reciprocating motion. May be hazardous because back and forth and up and down motion. A worker may be struck by or caught by moving and stationary parts. The last is transverse motion. Transverse motion is mechanical waves or waves which propagate through material medium at a wave speed which depend in elastic and inertial properties of that medium. Tapos yung iba pang type ng hazard is point operation. The area in which machine cuts, shape, bores, or bend stock being fed to. Tapos pinch point, shear point. The area where a part of a body or clothing would be caught between a moving part or stationary object. That would be include power transmission apparatus such as flying wheel, pulleys, belt, chain, couplings, spindles, cam, gears, connecting rods, and other machine components that transmit energy. Tapos, method of safeguarding. Next reporter, no?
Parang, Travis!
Yung
Tapos
guards,
nasabi
no?
naman ni Van,
Yung guards
nasabi ni
po,
Van kasi
a physical barrier that prevents contact. They can be fixed, interlock, adjustable, or self-adjusting. Tapos yung next reporter naman.
Panik sa lava, Bash.
We will provide you your experience ng
Ayan, so next naman is
Kasi hindi naman
devices.
ako makatake.
This limit or prevent access to the hazardous area.
Baka
This can be
nahihirapan
present
lang.
sensing devices, pull back or restraint strap,
Sabi ko,
safety
sige.
safety
Basta
trip
yung
controls,
within the
or two-way hand control
within the
circuits. So
suggested
it can stop
within the
these devices.
recommended
It can stop the machine if a hand or any part of the
parameters nila
body is put in a danger zone by accident, which utilizes the cables or stuff that are attached in a fixed position in the operator's hands.
Papadala na lang namin sa inyo.
it will restrain the operator's hands or remove from the danger zone during service. Next slide.
Sabi niya, isang target na delivery. Ano, sama? Friday. Natapos lang.
Sir. Sige, Pastor. Next slide ba? Ano? Bash. Wait lang po, sir. Di pa na lipat yung slide. Yan, okay na.
Gray, no? May gray area na sila.
So, methods of safeguarding sa automated feeding and ejection mechanisms.
So, ano na
This
dapat
eliminates
yan?
the operator's exposure to the point of operation while handling stock materials. So, ang automatic feed is hindi na niya nire-require ang any effort. It does often do not require any effort by the operator after the machine is set up and running to remove a completed part of a press. Automatic ejection can use either air pressure or a mechanical apparatus. It can be interlocked with the operating controls to prevent operation until the part is ejected. Next slide. Machine location or distance. This method removes the hazard from the operator's work area. To protect the machine by location, the machine or its dangerous moving parts must be placed in such a way that hazardous areas are not accessible or do not pose a hazard to a worker during a normal machine operation. Next. Miscellaneous aids. These methods can be used to protect both operations and people in immediate vicinity of operating machinery. Examples includes shields to contain chip sparks, sprays or other forms of flying debris, holding tools that an operator can use to handle materials going into the point of operation, and awareness barriers to warn people about the hazards in the air. So, dito na sa provision of guards, all moving parts of prime movers, transmission, equipment, and all dangerous parts of driven machinery shall be effectively guarded, unless so constructed or located to prevent any person or object from coming or brought into contact with them. And next naman is built-in safety. When an employer orders machine parts, or other working equipment, he shall specify in his order that such machinery parts or equipment shall be provided with all the protective devices required by safety rules for any dangerous part thereof. In cases where it is impossible to anticipate the type of protective device required for special operations, such devices may be obtained or provided as soon as possible. Second is manufacturers, vendors, and lessors of machinery, machine parts, or other working equipment shall ensure that every article delivered, sold, or let by them is provided with all the required protective devices. Third one is employers installing new machinery, machine parts, or other working equipment, and persons or firms in charge of installation of such machinery or parts of machinery and other working equipment shall see to it that these are properly guarded in conformity with existing safety standards. Next slide. So, removal of guards. No person shall remove or make ineffective any safeguard, safety appliance, or safety device guarding a dangerous machine or machine part unless such is authorized, and the machine is stopped for the purpose of immediately repairing and adjusting such machinery, guard, appliance, or device. Second is warning signs with standard color shall be installed near the machine being repaired or its guards removed. Third one is upon completion of the repairs or adjustments such as guards, appliances or devices shall be immediately be reinstalled before the machine is used. Next slide. Dito naman sa standard machinery guards. Guards shall be designed, constructed, and used that they will provide positive protection, prevent all access to the danger zone during operations, not not interfere unnecessarily or inconvenience operation or production, operate automatically or with minimum effort, be suitable for the job and the machine, not obstruct or interfere with the machine oiling, inspection, and adjustment and repair. Withstand, withstand long use with minimum maintenance, resist normal wear and stock, be durable, fire erosion resistant, not constitute a hazard by themselves, and give protection against operational contingencies and not merely against normal expected hazards. Next presenter.
Next slide, Bash. Number 2 is standard guards or enclosures shall be made of materials suitable for purpose for which they are designed and constructed. All machinery's guard shall be securely fastened to the machine or to the floor, wall, or ceiling, and shall be kept in place whenever the machine is in operation. Framework. The following minimum standards for construction of machinery guards. Number 1. Small guards. Minimum dimension of materials of the framework of metal guards is 75 cm or 30 inches, or in less height and width, a surface area not succeeding 1 square meter shall be 1 cm for rod 20 millimeters times 10 millimeters times 3 millimeters for angle iron. The, the next is other construction may be substituted for guards of the same area if shell will be provided equal strength. Brace guards. A minimum dimension of materials of the framework of guards more than 75 cm in height and with a surface area exceeding 1 square meters shall be 25 millimeters times 25 millimeters times 3 millimeters for angle iron or 20 millimeters diameter for metal pipe. Next slide, tol. Such guard should be rigidly braced every 90 cm or fractional part of them height to some fixed part of machineries or other structure. Unbraced guards. When a machinery guard is fastened to the floor or working platform without any support of or bracing, the framework shall be A. Wood railings. The top rail and post shall be 50 millimeters times 100 millimeters, and the intermediate rail shall be 50 millimeters times 50 millimeters or 20 millimeters times 20 millimeters. All such railings shall be smooth and free from large or loose nuts, protruding nails or belts, splinters, fine slivers or cracks. C. Wood guards shall be securely fastened together with wood screw, hardwood dowels, pins, bolts, rivets, or cream nails, and shall be equal in rigidity to metal guards. D. Pipe railings. The top rail or end post shall be 30 millimeters in diameter and intermediate rail shall be 25 millimeters in diameter. Structural metal railings. Top rail and posts of angle iron shall be 38 millimeters times 38 millimeters times 5 millimeters, and the intermediate rail of angle iron shall be 32 millimeters times 32 millimeters and times 3 millimeters. All structural metal railings shall be of sound materials, free from defects, and all sharp corners shall be rounded and smooth. Next. Number 4. Joints. All framework joints shall be equivalent strength to the materials of the framework. Horizontal overhead belt guards. Framework of guards for horizontal overhead belts, ropes, or chains is more than 2.6 m above the floor or platform of the angle iron shall be at least a 25 by 25 by 5 millimeters for belts up to 25 cm in width. B 38 by 38 by 6 millimeters for belts over 25 up to 35 in width. C 50 by 50 by 8 millimeters for belts over 35 up to 60 cm in width. And D 80 by 80 times 10 millimeters for belts over 60 cm in width. Horizontal overhead belts more than 2,100 millimeters above a floor, platform, or other working level shall be guarded for their entire length if located over passageways or working places. Next. 6. Guard support if of flat iron shall be of the following dimension. A. 38 by 6 cm by 6 millimeters for belts up to 25 cm in width. B. 50 by 8 millimeters for belts over 25 up to 35 cm in width. C. 50 times 10 millimeters for belts up to 35 up to 60 cm in width, and D. 65 by 10 millimeters for belts over 60 cm in width. All guards shall be provided with an adequate number of support and attachment to ensure sufficient rigidity and resistance. Pillars. Minimum dimension of materials. Pillars should be made of solid sheet metal not less than 0.8 millimeters in thickness. Perforated sheet metal not less than 1 millimeters in thickness, or woven wire not less than 1.6 millimeters in diameter. Fillers of other materials of equal strength for the same area may be substituted. Number 2. Woven wire. Woven wire shall be of the type in which the wires are securely fastened and every cross point by welding or galvanizing or soldering except in the case of diamond or square wire mesh made of wire 2 millimeters in diameter, 20 millimeters mesh or heavier. Next support.
Number 3. Fastenings. A. Filler material shall be securely fastened to angle iron framework with rivets or bolts by welding or weaving through the frames. B. Wire mesh made of wire 2 millimeter in diameter, 20 millimeter mesh or heavier may be bent entirely around rod frames. C. Filler materials for pipe frames shall be made into panels with rolled edges or bound with sheet metals, and panels shall be fastened to the frames with steel clips. Number 4. Filler openings. A. Where guards or enclosures is within 100 millimeter from moving parts, opening on the guards shall be of such size as will prevent passage of any objects greater than 12 millimeter in diameter. B. Where guards are located more than 100 millimeter and less than 380 millimeter from moving parts, the maximum opening shall not be more than 50 millimeter. And where slotted guards are used, the width of the opening shall be not greater than 25 millimeter, and its area shall be not more than 13 square centimeter. Height of guards. Except as provided for specific installation, the minimum height of guards shall be 1 meter from the upper surface of the top rail to the floor or platform level. Floor clearances. Standards railing guards shall be placed not less than 380 millimeter nor more than 500 millimeter from any moving parts, provided however that where clearance from other moving parts are less than 380 millimeters. Such parts shall be guarded as required elsewhere in these standards. Interlocks. Guards on power-driven machinery shall be interlocked with the machine control to prevent operation of the machine unless the guards is in its proper position, or arranged that it is difficult to operate the machine unless the guards is in place. U-guards. U-guards shall be constructed as specified in Table 3.1 Appendix. Number 2, edges shall be smooth, and if the size of the guards requires, it shall be reinforced by rolling or wiring or by bending with an angle or flat metal. Wood guards. Number 1, material. A. Wood used for guards shall be sound, tough, and free from any loose knots. Number 2. A. Wood guards shall be made of plain lumbed or not less than 25 millimeter or 1 inch, or of a wood or fabricated lumber or of equal strength. The edges or and corners shall be rounded off. B. Wood guards shall be securely fastened together with wood screws, hardwoods, dowels, pins, bolts, rivets, or crimped nails, and shall be equally in rigid to metal. Guards fulfilling the requirement of rules 1203.01 or 1203.02 and 1203.03. Next, reporter.
Machine guard of point operation under general provisions. First is the point of operation of machinery shall be effectively guarded. Second, mechanical feeding and ejection devices shall be provided. Third, individual starting and stopping devices shall be provided on every work machine having a cutting, drawing, grinding, pressing, punching, shearing, or squeezing actions to make it possible for the operator to start or stop the machine without leaving his working position. Fourth, enclosed guard shall conform to the provision of rules 1203.1 to 1203.08, where visibility of operation is desirable. The fillers of the guards covering point of operation may be of clear, transparent material, where the strength and the rigidity of standard fillers are not necessary. And lastly, where pedals are used to actuate machinery or parts of of machinery, an automatic locking device shall be attached to the pedal or inverted U-shaped guard shall be fastened to the floor over the treadle, leaving sufficient clearance for the foot of the operator between the treadle and the guard. Next, for the transmission machine regarding under prime movers. First is flywheel and other prime movers shall be periodically inspected by qualified personnel for cracks, incorrect adjustment, and other defects to prevent explosions. Second, any exposed part of flywheel 2,100 millimeters or less than above the floor of platform shall be guarded. Third, in areas where standard railing are used, the railings shall not be less than 388 millimeters nor more than 500 millimeters from the rim of the wheel. A standard toe board shall be provided. And fourth, when it is necessary to move flywheels for starting, guard shall may be removed temporarily, but shall return immediately after such an operation is completed. A lot of opening for jack bar will be permitted. Fifth, every jack bar should equip with a hand stop so located that it will safely clear the flywheel guards when fully inserted, but will prevent the worker's hand being pinched between the slot and the bar. And lastly, any portion of the flywheel protruding through a place where workers work or shall or pass shall be completely enclosed or surrounded by guard rails. Next, um, governors. First, centrifugal governors shall be guarded or enclosed in the same way as flywheels. Second, flyable governors located 2,135 millimeters or less above the floor. Platform or other working level having rotating, projecting, or sectional parts of hazardous resources shall be enclosed or covered under with a guard secured to rigid supports and accessible to oiling inspections. These are the examples, sir. Next po. For collars and couplings, revolving collars and couplings shall be cylindrical and no screws or bolts project beyond. Largest periphery coupling shall be enclosed by stationary guards. Next po. For keys and set screws. First is projecting keys, set screws, and other projections is revolving part of the machine. not guarded by the frame of the machine or location shall be removed mid-flush or guarded by non-rotating metal caps. Next. For tail roads, first is tail rods extending in areas where persons work or pass shall be guarded. Second, if guardrails are used, the range shall be 50.8 centimeter or 20 inches when the tail is fully extended. Next reporter.
Shafting. Shafts must be fully sealed at a height of 7 feet above the ground, underneath benches, or on the pavements. Shafts must be sealed. Non Non-rotating caps must be used to protect exposed face ends of shafts over half the diameter of the shaft. Next slide. Belt and pulley drive. Every part of a horizontal belt and pulley drive that is 2,100 millimeter or less above the floor or working level and uses flat ground or flank pulleys must be guarded, except in the case of closed and loose pulleys. The gap between two pulleys should be greater than the width of the belt. Overhead belts that are more than 2,100 millimeters from the floor must be protected across their length. Next slide, please. Next slide. Conveyors. Screw conveyors that are 2,100 millimeters or less above the floor or other working level must be fully sealed with significant gates, with the exception of screw conveyors that are 600 millimeters or less above the floor or working level, or below the floor level, which can be guarded by regular railing guards with mid-rail height toe boards or may be guarded by substantial leads. Next slide. Gears and sprockets. Within 2,100 millimeters of the floor or other working surface, hooks, sprockets, and chain drives must be protected in the same way as belts. Next reporter.
Starting and stopping device. So clutches, cut-off couplings or catch pulleys and other mechanical power control device, shaving, projecting parts where any parts such device is located at 2,100 mm. Ano ko na lang po, papasadahan, sagitan na lang po. Last naman po ako, sir. Um, yung ano daw po, yung machine, halimbawa yung motor, kailangan daw po hindi na sa floor, kundi na sa 2,100 mm above the floor. Tapos yung mga machine daw po, yung mga pulley, couplings, kailangan din daw po may harang para hindi matamaan or hindi maka ah, aksidente sa taong uh, nagpapaandar nito. Tapos daw po yung mga enclosure din dapat hindi makakasagabal doon sa machine para hindi ma-prevent nito sa paghinto sa paggana. Tapos each process machine driven by an individual prime mover shall be equipped with emergency stopping device. Yun yung stopping device na naka-attach sa katawan ng tao in case na mapasok man dun sa machine yung kamay ng tao or anong parts ng body is hihinto na lang. Pero sa panahon naman natin ngayon dahil advanced, may mga sensor, in case na naman mapasok dun sa machine yung kamay, agad naman itong hinto. As next slide please. Tapos dun sa automatic and semi-automatic or mechanical feed press, fixed guard or enclosure. Ito yung guard dun sa machine na magpoprotekta dun sa kamay natin. Ito yung mga guards na sa likod tapos sa gilid para ma-prevent dun sa mapasok natin yung kamay natin sa machine. Tapos hand and foot power presses, fixed guard or enclosure. Ito naman yung enclosure na sa harap, sa ilalim, sa taas para ma-prevent din natin yung kamay natin mapasok doon sa machine mapasok natin mismo doon sa machine yung makita natin sa machine na may harang na metal plating para hindi natin basta-basta mapapasok yung kamay natin doon sa mismong machine. Tas B, interlocking gate guard. A guard or gate operated by tripping device will not permit the press to operate until further hands operator shall have been removed. Ito yung mga parang tripping device. Ito yung safety device na naka-attach doon sa machine na hanggat di natin inire-remove, hindi mag-work yung machine kasi pag nilagay natin doon, may tatanggalin tayo or hahawakan natin yung machine. Ito yung safety device na magpo-protect sa atin na from starting device in case na ma-start natin yung device unintentionally. Limited RAM travel. The stroke of the RAM or plunger shall be such that clearance between the RAM and the plunger and die or die stripper shall not be more than mm. Kaya nagkaroon ng agwat is para hindi magkasalpukan kasi pag walang agwat yan at nagkasalpukan ay pwedeng masira yung machine or mapahamak yung nag-ooperate nito. Swept guard, a mechanically operated guard which throws the hand of the operator out of the way as the RAM descends. Ito yung safety features ng machine kung kailan siya mag-i-start, nakapasok pa yung kamay mo, is kusa, may lalabas na shield na magkahagis sa kamay mo para hindi mapasok doon sa machine at ma-aksidente ka. Tapos, pull-out protective device. A mechanically operated device attached to the operator's hand. Ito yung device na naka-attach, nakatali sa kamay mo kung saan kung mag-i-start yung machine is kusa siyang hihilahin ng safety device na yon para hindi ka maaksidente. Next slide please. Excuse me. Mechanical, electrical, or air control shall be permitted on large presses requiring one or more operators. So pag malalaki pong machine yung gamit natin, kailangan dalawang operator nagtatanggal. Tapos kung re-required na stop yung machine kasi sobrang laki niya, may valve dito na isasarado, may valve doon na isasarado. Kailangan dalawa para kung sasarado dito, hindi tatakbo yung isang tauhan doon sa kabila kasi medyo malaki yun. Kailangan mabilisan, kailangan dalawa or mas marami pang tao ang gagawa upang mabilis na mapatay or mapagana yung machine. Wait lang po sir. Next slide po. So makikita nyo na dun sa picture, pedal or treader guards. Ito yung guard sa paa natin. Usually sa mga machinery to. Ito yung type ng control na gamit natin ng paa. Tapos kailangan dito sa control na to is hindi sakto sa paa natin kundi dalawang width ng paa natin yung sukat ng control. Tapos kaya siya may harang is pine-prevent na ma-injure yung paa natin or ma-prevent na kung maaksidente nating matapakan, isang hindi natin agad-agad matatapakan kasi may safety features yung pedal. Next slide please. So, special hand tool. So, marami tayong makikita yan sa mga gumagawa, nakasabit sa likod or sa bewang. Ito yung ginagamit nila kung para hindi nila yung mismong kamay nila gagamitin doon sa mismong machine. Kasi kung mismong kamay nila gagamitin nila, pwedeng mga aksidente. Halimbawa, ayan, mga flies. Kung may gusto silang sungkitin doon sa loob ng machine or ayusin, yun yung gagamitin nila para sa safety purposes din. Okay na po.